You're listening to the Microsoft Innovation Podcast, where we explore the intersection of people, business, and technology. This year, we're adding a new show to our lineup, The AI Advantage, to help you learn the skills you need to thrive in the AI era.
Welcome to the MVP Show. My intention is that you listen to the stories of these MVP guests and are inspired to become an MVP and bring value to the world through your skills. If you have not checked it out already, I do a YouTube series called How to Become an MVP. The link is in the show notes. With that, let's get on with the show. Today's guest is from Bangalore, India. He works at Curve Digital as a solution director, obviously with my good friend Will Dorrington. He was first awarded his MVP in 2024. He's a YouTuber, speaker, and blogger. He publishes Age of Copilot's newsletter to update community with upcoming Copilot developments. You can find links to his bio and socials in the show notes for this episode. Welcome to the show, Sriram.
Thank you, Mark. I'm really excited to be in your show. I've been a big fan of the MVP show for years. You've really been an inspiration for including me and other MVPs. So kudos to the great work you do for the community. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. It's good to have you on the show. Now, when I was researching your name, I understand that it is pronounced differently in northern India to southern India. Is that right? It has a different take on the name?
Yeah, it's Sriram. The languages are different, so sometimes, yeah.
I didn't realize that. So Sriram, that's awesome. That's awesome. Food, family, and fun. What do they mean to you when you're not working?
Yeah, family. I have a 12-year-old. He was one of the youngest Power Platform certified and Azure certified when he was 9 years. So really proud of him. He's very passionate about tech and he started coding from a very, very engaged. He started with Lego robotics, block programming, and then he moved to Python. And the awesome thing is he's self-taught. He teaches me. I learned a lot from him. He has so much passion. He created his own GPT, custom GPT tool in the GPT store, so called the AI Tutor. That's for students. So so it's one of the top education GPTs in the education category in the GPT store. When he created that, he created his own tool, a clone of ChatGPT. Using all the pro code ones, whatever it just like Next.js, Pinecone, everything, and then he saw the same thing how we can do it to a custom GPT. And he has set up his own server, all virtual. I mean, everything is like, he doesn't work from the cloud. He has everything has his own server set up and everything like that. So, yeah. My wife, she's a great cook. And then she used to work in pharma for a while, but she quit and now she's a full-time mom. Yeah.
Nice. And the best food to eat, should I visit, is what?
Yeah, masala dosa, South Indian food, like masala dosa is one of our favorite foods. I like different kinds of foods too. I mean, like North Indian food, like roti and, paneer, masala and stuff like that. Yeah, I like my wife's because she also was with me in the US for a while. She cooks all different kinds of food, like pasta, Mexican rice and all that. So all the different flavors my kid likes. The different varieties of food. Yeah.
That's very cool. Tell us about the Age of Copilot's newsletter.
This all started, it was last year. That was when I told you, like my son I attended the OpenAI, that developer conference where they said about the GPT store. Then he showed me like how he created a custom GPT because he had created everything from scratch, from using Procreate. It took almost a month to build it. It was, all the pro code, the Next.js and everything, and how easy it was to create a custom GPT. I mean, it just took an hour for him. So I was like really curious. So that's when I started, creating custom GPTs. Initially, I started with how can it help in my development, like generate code, data model and stuff like that. So then they announced Copilot Studio. It was a rebrand of Power Virtual Agents. So then I was hooked. So whatever custom GPTs I created, I tried to create it, I was thinking, why can't I do it using Copilot Studio. So initially I created a lot of tools for software development lifecycle. Like I created Architect Copilot, Developer Copilot. It's all specific to Power Platform, the prompts and everything. I created it. And also, then I thought, okay, why don't I create a Copilot newsletter so that whatever I learned, not just me, like other people who have learned it, why don't I share with the community so that will help everyone else? So that was the start of the Age of Copilot newsletter. Initially I was like crazy every day. I was so passionate about it, work on something new, and I have understood to publish. Now a little slow down now. So, but yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. What's your take on the comparison between Copilot and ChatGPT?
Yeah. So the Copilot, the thing is, the difference here is the ChatGPT is more like a general purpose tool. Like, and you can do it's trained. You can do it any task. For like Copilot, the thing is, it's more a focused tool. It's just like you create your own version of it. Feed it with your own knowledge. And the rules. And now it's autonomous agents, right? You can just put the guardrails. And it's trained on your own knowledge, and it's so easy to set up. You just, to start with, Copilot Studio has made it a lot easier to create it. Just point it to your knowledge. You can start from now. You can start from your SharePoint site, just a document library, and create it, or from your Power App. So it's a lot easier for people, to start to learn, and then it's very specific to your organization, and you start, starting with your employee use cases. It's easy for us to do. Whereas ChatGPT is, it's basically outside your organization. Always whatever prompts, even though OpenAI says that it will not train it, but you have your people are kind of skeptical. Whatever prompts you do, it goes outside your boundary. Whereas for Copilot Studio, everything is within your organization boundary, and you can set controls and stuff like that. So. That's what I think the difference is.
Yeah. Interesting. How did you first get started on the Power Platform?
Yeah. So my introduction to the Power Platform was many years, like 14 years ago. I started with Dynamic CRM, specifically Dynamic CRM 2011. So before that, my career always has been Microsoft technologies in a good way. That was back in 98, 99. I started with Visual Basic, ASP.NET, and .NET back then. So one of my earliest projects I can remember was in 99. It was it was for a reinsurance company that was in the World Trade Center. That World Trade Center is not even there. It's one of the Twin Towers. I used to work at the 50th floor. Yeah, I still remember that. That was for the reinsurance brokerage firm. We built an application for them using Visual Basic. So then I moved to .NET, .NET 1. That's when I started. I worked in multiple versions of .NET. I was in US then, so I traveled 6 different cities. Like I start from New York, San Jose, South Bend, Rochester, Hartford, Boston, East Coast, West Coast, Midwest. I was more like a nomad. I was bachelor and a nomad. So just like get your car and then, just move from place to place. I know you love to travel. I saw your forecast too. Travel and nature is, that's, I love to do it. I enjoyed it a lot. After that, I came back to India like around 2005. Then I joined Infosys. I worked there for a while, and then I just went back in 2008 or 9 to I was a vendor then from Infosys. So worked at Microsoft in Redmond for a couple of years. I was married then, so I went there with my wife. There also we traveled a lot every weekend. We planned to travel everything. I know we to it's beautiful. Just 3-hour drive, or you take a train. You can go to Vancouver. We enjoyed a lot. We went to Hawaii. It's one of my favorite destinations, Hawaii and stuff like that. So there I worked a tool called SQL Server Migration Assistant, which allowed to migrate the schema from Oracle or any kind of database as well as data to SQL Server. So there's also a data migration piece to it. So when I returned back to India, the thing is that's what helped me. The thing is, one of the first projects I worked on, I worked at HP then. It was for a Dynamics CRM 2011 project where I was part of the data migration team. There, we didn't have a Kingsway software, and there was actually a component called Cosy-Rock then.
Yeah, I remember Cosy-Rock.
Yeah, I think you remember. Yeah, it was one of the largest data migration projects was there. So I felt like that was the right thing for me. The good thing about, because I was on .NET, what I liked about Dynamics CRM is it's a product. That is one. It's a little bit different. You have to just think what is out of the box, and you don't build everything custom built. And the other thing is it actually gave me the breadth of technologies. It's not just Dynamics CRM, all the related ones. You need to do reporting. Typical project, like you have integrations, reporting. I'll touch upon everything, right? So that gave me a wider, set of exposure to all the different technologies, not just .NET, just ASP.NET, just one. That's what I like then. Then I worked in multiple versions like CRM 2015, 2016, and then Dynamics 365. One of the projects I worked on, I think you interviewed Bert, right? He was at HP with me for Accor Hotels. We did a project on it. You talked about the other day. He did mention that. So that was one of the fun projects we worked on. Almost 2018 or so, or 19, I recall. That is when I started blogging, because PCF was new to me. So PCF, I liked it a lot because I worked on ASP.NET earlier, like server controls. I liked it a lot. So this is more like, I was like, how can I do the same in Dynamics CRM? So I went like crazy. I just created like 5 controls and asked, Guido was, he published a PCF gallery. I just published, I was one of the first to publish all the controls then. But after a while, I lost steam. So the thing is, I was not consistent, right? So it's like initially I had the passion, you do everything, and then and then that's it. And then I stopped it. But it was a good learning experience. It's like I just interacted with Andrew and Andrew Lai and Jiva both during that time. They also created PCF controls, so it was more then. And then for a while, I just worked on UiPath RPA. No, not work, more like I just heard about it because that was a cool thing then. So it was earlier days, we didn't have, the Power Platform, the Power Automate desktop then. So I was like, when I saw that, oh, this is cool. And then I thought I had an idea. Why can I create it myself? This was more like a proof of concept. I could create the same thing myself. Just for the web automation, I created a tool, and I published to, just for proving myself that I could do it. That was that. Then I moved to the Power Platform. Initially, anyhow, since I came from the model-driven app background, it's more like learning Canvas apps, Power Automate, because a lot of it you should use code. Power Automate, a lot of automation, you can use it using low code or no code. That is one. And then Copilot Studio, as I said, came along. Power Virtual Agents, I had not much to work on it. Only when it piqued my interest when Copilot Studio was released. That is when I went deep into the Copilot Studio. That's my journey.
Wow, that is a full-on journey, and I feel like I've just discovered so much more about you. Incredible, and incredible walk down history of this technology. How have you ended up at Curve Digital?
The thing is, I actually worked worked in multiple companies there. I knew well. I was in LinkedIn, so I was looking for a change then. So then messaged him. I got interviewed by Well, and then a few months later, I joined Curve Digital. Yeah, it's an awesome place to work.
Yeah. And how long you been there now?
It's like 2.5 years back now.
Wow. Very, very, very cool. Tell us about becoming an MVP. How did that come about?
Yeah, it's like, as I said, right, I started my own blog, PCF Controls in 2018. As I said, I was not very consistent. Initially, I was like, let's do it. And then as you know, it's not, I just want to highlight that because sometimes in life and projects and everything that comes along, sometimes it's not, it's tough to be consistent, once you have that initial spark and then it dies, just learning for me. And then in 2019, I took your first 90-day mentoring challenge. That is when I was like, thought, okay, I should do more for the community because I really liked, the concept of paying it forward. So how can you, pay it forward? So that inspired me. I started posting videos on because Power Pages was new to me. I knew about Dynamics 365 portals, but I had not much worked on it. So what I did, I started learning Power Pages, and that's it. When I learned, why don't to create videos, right? So when I can share what I did, that's what I did. But it went on for a few months. But just to be honest, I had self doubt. I mean, there's not many views, right? It's like, I mean, that's what sometimes it's like. It's more like self-doubt which creeps like, I mean, it's anyone watching my videos, I mean, I put so much work to it. Is it really worth it? That kind of creeped in, and then I was like, after a while I just stopped it again. I was not consistent. So I mean, it's just a learning for others who want to be, I mean, it's being consistent. It's sometimes hard. I mean, it's like the next thing was in 2023 again, I took the second version of the 90-day mentoring challenge again, right? But this time, the thing is, I was clear. The thing is, when ChatGPT and this came, I think this was Copilot Studio came. I thought this is my area. I can, I like to do it. And this time, I learned from the past. I want to be consistent. So that's where it began. I mean, initially, the thing is, it's because I work in multiple parts of it. So it's the tricky thing is you have to choose your areas of focus. So, my advice based on experience, it's better you choose an area where you're really comfortable and be consistent across this area, because when you file for MVP, I mean, you have to choose your areas. If you're all around the place, it's difficult to tag your contributions. So I was very clear. My focus was Copilot Studio, but people who are listening to this podcast, it's better you choose your areas. It would be easier if you choose something like where there's not much content, like customer insights, journeys, right? That would be a good place. I'm just giving an example. Whatever you like it and what you're trying to learn. And the thing is, it's more, you don't have to be perfect. That's what I learned. I think in your 90 mentoring challenge, you said, right? I mean, multiple videos I learned. The thing is, you start, that's fine. I mean, let's say you're learning, right? You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to work with that perfect moment that you have to publish the content. If sometimes it's raw, that's fine. I mean, it's you learn along the process. The more it's a journey, right? It's just journey or it's destination. It's not like once you do that, I mean, just start, publishing and it'll improve over time. So that's that. And as I told you earlier, things I created. Most of the Copilots I created was more automating the software development lifecycle for Power Platform. So it was more like an architect Copilot, a developer Copilot, more like and a data model Copilot, and so on and so forth. I also created a version of XRM toolbox. I would call it like a Power Platform AI Assistant toolbox. Here I used AI Builder and Power Apps to build the same tool. So I had actually published that as a tool. So instead of using the writing code, you're using prompts to generate code. I used that also I did.
Who nominated you?
Jiva nominated me. Yeah. He actually reached out to me and was like, you're doing some good work on Copilots. Yeah. So it's like,
so you know where Jiva lives now, eh?
Yeah. In New Zealand. Yeah, I know.
I might even get to see him next week. All been well, because we got the AI tour, a Microsoft AI tour in Auckland next week. Tell me about the community or the user base. Whether they be developers, makers, practitioners on the Power Platform in India. Do you have a feel for how big is it? Is it the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people working on it? What's your thoughts?
No, I think this is like, I don't, to be honest, I don't have a feel, because now I'm actually attending events, M365 Saturday. I mean, I'll be attending it. So now I started interacting more with the community, in the sense I've just videos, but it's all been virtual, but I will get more a sense that I think maybe tens of thousands are working on it. But only this will be first session this Saturday for the M365 Saturday. So I'll get a feel of
whereabouts.
This is about building agents with Copilot Studio. More, I'll focus on the new autonomous agents.
And is it in-person event?
In person, yeah.
Whereabouts?
It's in the Microsoft office in Bangalore.
Awesome. And so this is going to be your first in-person event. Okay.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear about it. I'd love to hear about it. It's India is on my radar for 2025. So I'm working with a government agency in New Zealand just about, how I engage more in that region. So, and I've never visited India. So, it might happen in 2025 for me. So who knows?
Yeah, definitely. I think you told me, earlier you were planning to visit. That was way back.
That's when I was at IBM, right? I was due to go up and do something for Hong Kong Bank, HSBC. And then they were able to get somebody in local to do what I was going to do. So, but yes, that
I'd love to have you here, to meet in person, like virtually. Yeah, that's awesome. I think that's another thing I love, Mark. I think is I like that personal connection when you go for a community event. That's what that makes that networking, or at least people really passionate about. Virtual is fine, but that's the thing. That's what I just want to go to more events, in-person event. That's really what I'm looking forward to.
Well, Sriram, it's time, and it's been so good speaking to you again. Totally enjoyed it, and I know we'll be in touch more in the future soon. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Frank. Thanks for having me. Cheers.
Hey, thanks for listening. I'm your host, Business Application MVP Mark Smith, otherwise known as the NZ365 Guy. If you like the show and want to be a supporter, check out buymeacoffee.com/NZ365 Guy. Thanks again, and see you next time.
Are you ready to accelerate your career in the Microsoft ecosystem? The 90-Day Mentoring Challenge, created by Mark Smith, is your opportunity to create a personalized pathway to success. Join over 1,200 alumni from more than 70 countries who have achieved remarkable results, from promotions to new job opportunities. Take it from Nathan, who said, "Since completing the 90-Day Mentoring Challenge, I've become an MVP in business applications and doubled my income." Or from Parvez, who shares, "I've never felt as inspired or energized about my career as I do now." Sign up at arcor.nz365guy.com. You can find the link in the show notes. And if you use the code podcast, you'll get 10% off.